What's going on, good people of the internet? It is time for OnComicsGrounds.com's flagship podcast, Panel to Panel, where a bunch of folks shoot the breeze and talk about comic books and such. We are back here once again for this amazing show that we do every week, except for when one of us is sick or some of us are sick. But we are here and we are back for a brand new episode this week with some of the amazing comic book news and nerdy goodness that has been going on in the space around us, this nerd sphere that we live on called Earth, where other things are happening, but we don't care about those other things. But we are here, and we are here to talk about some good stuff. My name is James Portis. Of course, with me, as always, is my two lovely co-hosts. To my left, we have the man who is excited about some things that are coming on our other podcast, Blurred Grounds, but there's not a lot to talk about them, because that would be spoiling. But also, he's excited about next week's issue of Batman White Knight. Travis, how are you doing this week?
I'm doing pretty good. I got the Halloween shopping for the kiddos done today. So that's a nice stress off my chest.
What they going as?
She's going to be Elsa this year, but from Frozen 2, which no one has seen, but they somehow have the costumes for.
Well, that's what they always do. Like, they got to have those early costumes out for the kiddos and whatnot.
Yeah, whatever. Let the storm rage on.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. And then to my right, we have the amazing woman who's been loving Batwoman as it's been premiering on CW. Mary, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay.
That's what's up. Just okay?
Yep, just okay.
Okay. All right. Don't forget to follow this podcast, folks, on Twitter at PGP_podcast. And don't forget to follow the website On Comics Ground on Twitter and Instagram at On Comics Ground. And check out the website daily, every weekday on OnComicsGround.com. Put some hyphens between those words for us, and that way you can check out all of our reviews, previews, and opinion pieces about the latest comic books that are going on in the world and some of our opinions on geek culture as a whole. So, let's get into it. The latest thing that had the internet buzzing this past week. I'll start off with the semi-interesting one, and then we'll talk about the stupid one here in a second. But the Marvel news we have going on right now is that Kevin Feige, has been tasked to take over the comics division as the new chief creative officer at Marvel. This is very interesting because over the constant battles that we have seen over the years with things like Chairman Mike, like Perlmutter, like with issues like when it comes to different things involving the movies versus the comics, we've seen division and frustration when it comes to those. We've seen Feige have to be given more power, that way he can go above Perlmutter for certain things. But now we see Feige stepping into a different role, and I'm worried, and it worries me even more that we're going to see comics evolve into more of a casual format rather than the stories that have been going on for so many years. Now, granted, that's not a bad thing entirely. Like making comics available for casuals is a great thing, and making it easier to understand for them is a great thing. But throwing out years of lore can be a bad thing as well. And I want to get your guys' thoughts on
that.
Who's going first?
You going first. I'm thinking.
Okay. Ladies first.
Ladies first.
I have a lot of mixed feelings about this particular move. I mean, financially, obviously, it is a fantastic business move for Disney. Like, I don't think they could have made a better business move than this. But at the same time, I'm just gonna be frank. I'm gonna put it out there. Like, look, as a gay woman, that kind of tends to be my primary focus. Is like, yes, while I do read all kinds of superheroes, all kinds of books, I'm a little gravitated towards gay stuff, more than others.
Fair enough.
So what makes me nervous is that I have a lot of some of my favorite characters are LGBT characters from Marvel, and what concerns me is the fact that Kevin Feige does not have a body of work in that area that inspires confidence in me. Because getting a gay character out of Marvel is like it's literally trying to pull teeth, and then you get someone who really has done nothing with it, like, because the only times in the MCU as a whole that we've gotten that kind of content are from avenues that he did not have direct control over, or if the rumors are to be believed in the case of like the Netflix shows, he just didn't like them. Because I know that there was the gender swapped gay character in Daredevil. I guess there was a gay guy in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and then the foremost example of representation in their little, collective pool is Nico and Carolina from Runaways. And those three elements he didn't have direct control over. So that's where I'm worried. And a lot of people are saying that, he has such respect for the characters. And, I do believe that to be true. I do believe that he cares a lot about these characters and wants to do it right. But I think that's kind of the fun part of comic books versus adaptations, is that you can tell a bunch of different stories. And I'm worried about it becoming homogenized. Like, I do see the benefit, I'm using air quotes here, of that, but at the same time, it kind of takes the fun out of it a little bit. At least from my perspective.
Well, and another thing that is drawn into concern is the fact that because of the censorship that we've seen over the past few years when it comes to, and then which ties back to the current issue at hand going on in the world of the Chinese government, hashtag fuck the Chinese government, and we have the issue developing there where we have so much like interwovenness of the Marvel Cinematic Universe being brought overseas, like, and we like that there could be shut down of homosexuality in general when it comes to like even the comics division if Feige's going into the comics with that mindset. That's a big ass concern, and not to mention from a Star Wars perspective. On top of all of this, Star Wars has just been like Disney has signed a deal with a subsidiary of Tencent, like the video game like conglomerate that's been having their hands in like Epic Games and Blizzard and stuff like that, which is part of the reason why there's the issue at hand of the protests and the Blizzard issue and yada yada. They've made a kind of deal with a subsidiary of them to bring Star Wars movies and comics and TV shows overseas for Chinese audiences. And that and there was this really creepy ass picture of stormtroopers on a staircase in China, and it had a lot of people concerned that we're going to see more and more censorship like across the board from Disney-owned properties.
The fact that you have the stormtroopers that are representative of a totalitarian government making a deal with a totalitarian government does not make me feel good.
Right.
It does not make me feel good.
Maybe they're trying to get closer to the source material for episode 9.
We do not know, we do not know the power of the dark side currently. As Obi-Wan once said, I have a bad feeling about this. Travis, what are your thoughts on all this?
It smells like big business. That's kind of what it is for me. Like, I get what Mary's saying. It's a great business move, but at what cost? Would be my question. What I know it's good for the fiscal part of things, but what are we actually like paying here for this? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, it's homogenized entertainment.
Yeah, and that's if we're getting the same, cookie cutter, fill the mold, serve it type of entertainment, then what's to stop these other companies from following suit? Because Disney's a huge conglomerate. They have their fingers in a lot of stuff. So if it's successful for them and it helps out their bottom line, we could definitely see a huge surge of other like media curators doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I don't want to like throw like this entire bag of sand at Feige's head and like you're burying the gays, but like it kind of feels like he's getting ready to do that, and I'm in a big way because now, granted, the thing that we are seeing from things like the Avengers game and different things going on that we're slowly starting to get diversity back in after All New Waters from Marvel got so shut down. But if Feige comes in swinging, we might see it just fully retract in general, and that has me concerned. Now, granted, there's still the rumors going around that Feige fought hard for Captain Marvel and for Black Panther and whatnot. So there's a little hope in terms of what's going on, but it doesn't leave me fully supportive of the move going on. And there was even a report, like not a report, like a article on Bleeding Cool that was like, if Feige's the new head of the comic division, what's that mean for CB Cebulski? Which, to his credit, Cebulski, whether he goes under his Asian pen name or not, he has been doing good work at Marvel. He brought the Four back. He's been slowly like bringing diversity back in. He put the X-Men back on a damn pedestal. Thank God. Like, and he got one of the best writers in the game to put them on that pedestal, and possibly created one of the best polyamorous relationships of all time. And if you don't know what that means, read X-Men #1, guys. But like, I find myself concerned. That's where I'm gonna leave my thought on. Are we kind of in agreement on that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Very concerned.
Okay, cool. Hashtag I stand with Cyclops, Jean, and Wolfman. Just saying. Okay, cool. Hey, man, if they do it, I'm gonna be supportive because, like, the idea of
what's
like
the ship name for that?
I don't even know. We'll have to work on it. If anyone has an idea, let us know. But like, I just like that would be the bomb for anybody. I'm mad that I didn't recommend X-Men 1 last week. Forgive me, people, because X-Men 1 was a pretty damn good issue. All of Hoxpox was just. I'm excited for the future of the X-Men, folks. Just to let you know. All right, so let's go into the really stupid news that arose this past week. So if anyone hasn't been able to tell from previous episodes of this podcast, I really don't like Rob Liefeld. And to find his ass bitching and moaning on Twitter this past week has been kind of nice. And you might ask, what do you mean, James? Well, I'm gonna tell you. So apparently, Rob Liefeld came out on Twitter and said that he is leaving Marvel. Like again, he came on Twitter and said, "So this will be my last original cover for Marvel for the foreseeable future. After doing 100 covers the last few years, I'm taking a pause. I'm also not continuing any interiors as I've put those on hold as well. G.I. Joe Snake Eyes and creator-owned stuff is on my desk." And okay, bye. Like my first thought is just like I feel like Craig pulling up on the porch, just going, "Bye, Felicia," because like I don't care. Like literally, you created a clone of Deadpool on a Denny's napkin. I made this joke this past week on Blur Grounds too, of like he created Major X on a Denny's napkin and then couldn't pay for his food, so he called Marvel and asked for a check. That's what that felt like. You've been bitching and moaning at speculators about when the first issue of Major X, the first appearance, actually came out, and bagged on the Spider-Man Deadpool artist. So screw you. You can't draw feet to save your life. And apparently you're saying all of this and leaving Marvel because of apparent bad business practices. And you didn't go into specifics. Obviously not. They wouldn't let you, obviously. But I really don't care. You can go do you create your own stuff because I still hate you for ruining Hawk and Dove in the New 52. So bye.
I still hate you.
I still hate you. Bro, did you see how shitty Dawn Granger looks in those covers? Like, do you see how those interiors look? No. Like, the funny, like, he didn't even write this book. But I was in a comic shop on my birthday last week, like the week before last, and I found a #1 print of Blackhawks #1 from the New 52. And my initial thought was how to ruin a relaunch 101. And that's what Hawk and Dove felt like. So I finished bitching. Travis, how do you feel about Rob Liefeld mysteriously leaving Marvel?
Man, how do I say this without getting us in trouble?
I mean, I kind of already said what I needed to say, so you can do what you want.
I mean, pick up an anatomy book?
Amen.
That's all I gotta say, man. Like, dude can draw, but his, like, look at this human body. It looks like an amoeba that you, like, filled with Captain America somehow. Like,
if you look at his gun barrels, they look like candy bars.
They really do. There's a picture of a variant cover for Deadpool #1 for Kelly Thompson that he drew, and it looks like he just drew the stupidest fucking gun possible and drew the worst feet for Deadpool. And I'm just like, brother, like, can you just stop? Like, can you just go take your money and go retire? And then he has the absolute gall to like be on this hype train and like ride the Deadpool wave till it burns. Let me let our audience in on a little secret. I may not like fourth wall breaking, Nolan North voice acted, annoying ass Deadpool, but at least I can say that Rob Liefeld had nothing to do with that iteration of Deadpool. The famous version of Deadpool has nothing to do with Rob Liefeld. All Rob Liefeld can do is say that he drew the damn costume and made him a badass to begin with, or terms of like, or at least a 90s badass or 80s badass, where he was edgy and cool and he killed people. Otherwise, he didn't do shit for that character.
The person that saved the character from cancellation and launched him into some kind of comic prominence was Gail Simone. Because she's told this story on Twitter before, they gave her the book at Marvel because it was a do-nothing book. So they're like, okay, here, we're going to cancel this, you just write this, we don't give a crap. And she wrote one of, I don't read a lot of Deadpool, but it's critically considered one of the best runs, and she saved the character.
Ain't that some shit? That cracks me up. See, and that vindicates everything that I feel so much. Thank you, Gail. Thank you for proving my point. That like I remember when Deadpool 2 was coming out, and all the racists were throwing hate at Zazie Beetz, even though the Reeve and Aligo thing was cool, but like whatever. Like the racists were coming after her, and Rob Liefeld's like, I created her, I approve this, and I'm like, yeah, you created her and drew her like a contortionist doll. Like, you didn't really help her much, bruh.
See, I feel like Marv Wolfman kind of gave a masterclass in how to respond to things like that. Because when people were absolutely going after Anna Diop when she was cast as Starfire, Wolfman just put out a simple statement. He says, you know what? I think she looks perfect. And that was that. He didn't, like...
Speaking of which, they were so wrong.
They were not allowed to speak until we get to the DC section, sir.
Damn it!
You're first. No. We'll get to you.
Hey, no. She is a literal queen.
She is. Granted, I prefer her Titan Season 2 outfit because that curly hair don't work for me. But like, it's okay. It's okay.
That red afro, man, I love it. I can't. I'll get you that the wig is poor and they did her dirty. Yes. But it could have been better, and if it was better, it would have been awesome.
Season 2 is better. Season 2 is so much better.
Okay, I can see the wig line on her where I'm at right now, and I'm like, oh man, like, damn it.
All I know is I legit squealed in Titan Season 1 where they found the ship, and she gasped and said, exhale, and I'm like, yes. Just give me this. Okay. Anyway, we're getting off track.
Mary, what are your thoughts on Liefeld leaving Marvel?
I don't know. I'm gonna say something awful. Liefeld can suck a dick for all I care.
Damn.
I mean, I did some poking around, and CelebrityNetWorth.com has his estimated net worth for about $2 billion. He has enough money. You know, he's got, obviously, if you compare it to the rest of comic books, he's doing just fine. I mean, he will always sell. His books will always sale. His books will always sell because 90s nostalgia is strong. And he has essentially made a modern career off of 90s nostalgia. Mm-hmm. So he'll be fine. I don't think he knows what to do if he's not the center of attention. I think that's my big thing is that, I think, and this is speculation, this is me saying all kind of what I can only assume is libelous crap. I think he's afraid he is going to fall into obscurity.
Ooh.
Because, people constantly rip on his artwork, and, that has to get to anybody. Like, I know he's jokingly called himself about it on Twitter, but he has a habit of blocking people who, even have a small disagreement with him. Like, I think he's conceited, I think he has an ego, and he wants to try and throw a bitch fit at Marvel thinking people actually care. And I maybe 2 or 3 people. I'm exaggerating, of course, but nobody gives a crap. Like,
and the thing is, I respect him for what he did for helping create Image, but otherwise, I don't and yeah, okay, you created Deadpool and Cable so other people can make Deadpool and Cable cool, but otherwise, I don't care.
I mean, the most successful thing he did with Image was steal Jim Lee from Marvel.
Yeah.
That was the most successful thing he did with Image, was to steal the Marvel Golden Boy. So, I mean, I think he doesn't want to realize that his heyday has come and gone. So, that's my thing. I can't stand it. He can't draw feet. His weapons look like, his gun barrels look like freaking candy bars. And it's just, like Travis said, pick up an anatomy book.
You go look at that old Captain America artwork, and it's so bad.
It's where his chest is 5 feet in front of where his spine should be.
It's so bad. Okay, so we ripped on Liefeld enough, but since we already hinted at it, we'll go ahead and move into.
I can do whole episodes of just ripping on Liefeld.
We really could. And we're gonna go ahead and tone it down from us getting so very vulgar. But we save our vulgarity specifically for you, Liefeld, so I feel appreciated. So
I'm gonna get in so much trouble for saying that.
Nah, it's cool. It's cool. So we're gonna go ahead and move into the DC section of the podcast because there wasn't a lot of Marvel news this week. We're gonna go ahead and move into the DC section of the podcast, and we're gonna take a small break from the news department, and we're gonna go ahead and move into the Travis has a fun thing to talk about. So Travis, you recently decided to take the plunge and visit the F Batman side of town, as it were.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Wait, what?
What I'm talking about is that he decided to go watch Titans for the first time today.
It was definitely worth it.
Speak on it. How deep are you in?
I'm on right when I stopped myself because I wanted to ask you guys: do I need to watch Doom Patrol before the Titans meet the Doom Patrol?
No. Okay. It's designed to be an introduction into Doom Patrol.
There's even a different chief in the show, and it's really awkward when you see a different chief in the show.
Okay, because when I was watching through and it was like they're gonna meet the Doom Patrol, I was like, hold on, I'm not trying to mess myself up with crossovers. I'm gonna wait.
Literally everybody from the Doom Patrol is in that episode except for different Chief and Jane because she was still doing Orange is the New Black.
Okay. Well, that's where I left off, and so far I'm completely captivated by this show. It is wonderful, to say the least.
You weren't turned off by fuck Batman.
No, because I understood it. I completely understood that scene. Well, like, because when he shows up, he's like, "You guys are done doing what you're doing," and they go, where's Batman at? Oh, he ain't here. We're gonna kill you. And then he's like, you guys made a mistake today. And it was wonderful seeing like I understand they probably exaggerate the gore a little bit, but it was cool seeing that real element to it, because they're beating the crap out of people, but that's actually gonna hurt a few folks. And some of them you're like, man, I know they're not supposed to kill people, but maybe that would have been the better choice for Mercy.
See, this is the stance I have had for a long time. I refuse to believe no one has never died from Batman-related injuries.
Amen.
Right.
Play Arkham Knight. You run over people and electrocute them.
Right, and anyone who has any knowledge of boxing is that when you're knocked out, if you lay there for more than like 5 or 10 minutes, you're in a coma.
Yeah.
Well, I don't remember his name, but a 27-year-old boxer just died from his injuries from a match.
He did.
Exactly.
Tragic.
It is rough. It's super rough, but I mean, they get paid to punch each other in the face. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, he knew the risk going into the ring.
Yeah, it's not like football where they try to get them protection and we're gonna do half-assed things about it. No, they know and that's a whole nother subject about Don King's Mandingo fights.
Yeah.
But I digress.
Did you just say what I thought you said?
Anyway,
yes.
So Travis, I like your first communication to me that you were watching the show was that they killed Raven's mama, and you wasn't really okay with this. So speak on it.
It was so like, okay, I understood like they were trying to like, it's the first episode, so I'm like, all right, they're gonna introduce everybody, and so I start typing up a review, and I'm peeking my head up every now and again, listening to the dialogue, and when I'm hearing the action, I'll take a break and just look. And so I'm watching, and all of a sudden I see like Raven with her mom, and she's just getting capped through the back of the head. I'm like, oh my god, this is episode 1.
It sets the tone real fast.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. Oh my god, and it hasn't slowed down. Like, they have times where they're like trying to have, the exposition to explain the story, like a lot of like with Hank and Dawn. There's a lot of that, but it's still really actiony.
Freaking love that, man. That was the best flashback ever. I loved it.
Oh,
it was pretty good.
James, when he gets to the hotel fight.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, you were gonna love the hotel fight. That's all I'm gonna say.
I'm excited. I'm probably gonna watch that tonight.
Like, just the whole show, and then you start watching season 2, and it starts getting better, and I'm just like, oh, and then like my best girl is coming for you, Travis. Just be ready for it.
Best girl,
and Mary may prefer her mentor, but I will stand by my best girl.
Mm-hmm.
Mary, do you know who I'm talking about?
It's not ringing a bell. Who are you talking about?
Donna.
Oh, well, I like Donna. I just like Diana more.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you prefer Diana, but I love Donna.
I'm sitting here like, I don't want to know when they come in. Try not to listen.
Hey man, this is the first time you never cared about spoilers, so I'm actually kind of impressed that you don't like you actually care about spoilers for this one.
Well, it's not that I like. Okay, don't tell me what the plot happens. I don't mind who comes in as a character, because I figure it's a comic book show, so they're gonna throw the kitchen sink at it. If I learned anything from this Hawk and Dove episode.
Yeah, they really just.
Let's talk about erectile dysfunction, kids.
Bro, they gave him ED right away. Like, they didn't even wait. Like, I was just like, oh my god, Hawk is just a sad dude.
So much. Like, it reminded me so much of Cry for Justice: Rise of Arsenal, where Cheshire comes into the house like, why is our daughter dead? And then they end up trying to bang, and then he goes, oh, I can't get it up.
Man, it was a combination of that, and I couldn't stand I couldn't stand because okay, for those of you that have been with us for a while, you've seen our animated avatars. Mine is Nightwing. So when Nightwing is already bewitching people with his penis, I'm a little irritated.
Oh, Jesus God.
If I didn't need a drink before, I need one now.
You're not allowed.
That's what happened. She was like tending to Hank, and it was so like loving, and then all of a sudden she's thinking a dick, and that's a pun, and I'm just like, no. Like,
oh, no. Well, like, hey man, that they were a thing, so it's okay.
yeah, I mean, I guess it felt good in the story when Hank comes in and he goes, "Oh, you're just gonna take what you want," and like it was just like this whole just like shitstorm when he walked in the door. It was like, oh, they got a lot of history already.
I wasn't a big fan of the whole like Hank and Dawn are in a relationship thing, but then you're like on top of that, Dick and Dawn were a thing too, and I'm just like, this is too much. This is too much.
Yeah, second episode.
No, I will give kudos to later in the season. They do say that Dawn has a sister, which means if they ever want to kill off Hank, we can call Holly, and that makes me very happy. So, yay.
Right.
If ever Alan Richardson wants to leave, we can call Holly Granger, and we can get our backup Hawk. So yay.
Well, Hank is supposed to be the whole, masculinity has completely failed this guy. Like type of character. Like
Mary, I've never like fully heard your thoughts on Titans, and I kind of want to know.
Oh, I like it well enough.
Okay.
I mean, the second half of the first season gets a little messy, but I mean, first seasons typically are pretty messy. I like the characterizations. I really do. I especially like Anna Diop's Starfire. I am blanking on the actress that plays Raven, but I really like her too. Admittedly, I'm a little biased, but episode 4, I think, is the one with Doom Patrol.
Yes.
I absolutely adore that episode. Kind of being able to see Garfield interact with the Doom Patrol is honestly something I never thought I would see.
Yes, that's true.
And I really enjoyed that. I'm a few episodes into season 2.
Same.
I don't want to say too much to give too much away for Travis or for anyone else listening that hasn't watched it yet. But is it, Wolfman and Perez Titans? No, it isn't. It is not that. It is it's just kind of a gritty premium cable reboot. It's about as dark as Daredevil.
Honestly, if you wanted to compare it to something, it's like if you took the Wolfman and Perez lineup minus Kid Flash, shoved it in like Jeff Lemire's Titans Earth 1, and then gave it the Daredevil Netflix makeover. Because like the realism, but like kind of in street clothes half the time, but like superpowers, but no cyborg. Like that's pretty much how it feels.
I think that's a really good way to put it. Is that and I'm going to compare it to the DCEU, and I know someone is just going to kind of like twitch, and I'm not talking quality, I'm talking tone. The fact that the DCEU has tried very hard to cultivate a real world where superheroes are in it. And Titans definitely follows along with that model, and Doom Patrol does as well, and hell, so does Swamp Thing. That it is our world with these characters. So there is that level of realism there that, frankly, I am a fan of. So it's just, that's part of what I really like about it. Like I said, I'm not trying to give too much away because I don't want to spoil anything for Travis.
Okay. So Travis, you are definitely going to watch more, apparently.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna finish this and then watch Doom Patrol and then cry while I watch Swamp Thing. Because I watched a little bit of it and I was like, oh yeah, no shit, they blew the budget. This is amazing.
Oh no, it is absolutely phenomenal. It is everything that you could want from a Swamp Thing TV show.
See, I still need to finish Doom Patrol, so I'm that person.
Oh my god!
I'm also
yes,
high key pumped for the animated movies that I haven't seen yet that are on there, like The Death of Superman, for example. I heard it's got a
James?
gnarly
I'm gonna
fight
sit,
scene,
my,
so
I'm
I
gonna
need to
sit in
see
my
it.
corner. I'm gonna sit in my corner. It's fine.
Oh no, it is. It is damn good. It is damn good. James just doesn't like the animation.
I don't like the animation. I don't like the universe. I hate it. It's stupid. It man, let me make your brain hurt, Travis. Did you see the little leaked image of the lineup for the Teen Titans that's gonna be in the Justice League Dark Part 2 that they're making?
No, I did not.
Damian Wayne, older than Connor Kent. Connor Kent's on the team because of Death of Superman. Wallace West.
Wallace, Jesus.
In his silver costume that he was supposed to be in during the New 52. They changed it and put him in the yellow suit in DC Rebirth. Raven, Beast Boy, and then a Cyborg and Starfire. And it's very freaking also young Donna Troy to go with young Connor Kent, which makes no sense. Oh, and then
they just want to have the power couple together or something?
What did you say?
They just want to have the power couple there or something? I always notice that they try to have these weird secret relationship ties.
Oh no, it's
in these kind of movies.
Just the entire weird New 52 low budget animation movie universe is so screwed up that they don't even care, and they're just like, we'll use whatever we got. That's what it is. And I don't.
Oh, that's rough. Oh, that's garbage.
So while yes, the return and the reign are really cool, especially because Cress Williams plays Steel, and I love it. The animation is rough. And also my biggest and you can give me this. The biggest criticism that I have for Death of Superman as a movie, I love the intention of it, and I love the emotion in the scenes. But the biggest criticism I have for it is that because of the lack of other things involving Superman in these other movies, there is nothing for you to gravitate towards of Superman dying other than media osmosis. You don't care about this man. He's played by Jerry O'Connell in the really bad, weird, full suit, New 52 suit, and there's nothing to care about him. And that's what makes it not good to me. Your response.
Oh, what? My response to that?
Yes.
I mean, it's subjective. I think you're wrong, but
let's battle. Let's go. Let's battle.
Why?
Because debate it.
I mean, it's just, frankly, it's a matter of opinion. I do see where you're coming from, that, given the narrative in the confines of the movie alone, there hasn't been a lot of Superman. There's been a lot of Batman with these movies, but there hasn't been a lot of Superman. But I think it's an incredibly naive and limited view to completely remove that from media osmosis. That it is just not something that the average viewer is going to do. And I think that's ultimately what the movie ended up relying on, which, is not technically a good thing. Yes. But, it is taking the easy way out. However, I do think it's incredibly naive to think that, someone is just going to, get horse blinders on and view it specifically through.
That's fair. I think another thing that goes with it too is hashtag tie into the Superman animated series and also Justice League that you and I both love. The original Superman Doomsday movie that was released had the same animation style, just had a different voice actor for Lex Luthor, which was really weird. I forget who it was. It wasn't Clancy Brown. But because they used that universe as an anchor, it helps you care about it. Versus this, where there's a lack of Superman content, it makes you not, it made me specifically not, care as much.
I mean, but that's the nature of an adaptation. That is literally why it is called an adaptation.
Right.
I mean, something is always, something old, there's always going to be one person saying that this older thing was better. And that's not a bad thing. Sometimes the older thing is better, but I think it's largely just a matter of opinion. I have a very, very strong connection to the Death of Superman story. It is one of my favorite things. Every time I read it, I still get teary-eyed because I have the single issue, and it is a 4-page spread when you open up the whole issue. So I think that's what gravitated me towards it more, but I think it varies from person to person. Wonder Woman Bloodlines also does a lot to kind of mop up that continuity. Like, yes, it is messy, but I would rather have them do messy continuity work than to try and stick hardcore to that New 52 continuity.
Bloodlines is
So I think
in
that's
the same canon?
Yeah.
What?
All of these movies are in the same
But
canon.
the animation is so much different. I thought it was different. Wow. My mind just got blown.
It's all in the same canon because in Bloodlines, they briefly reference some things that happen in the Justice League movie. They reference Wonder Woman's relationship with Superman.
Oh shit!
There's a lot of rebirth in Bloodlines. There is a lot of rebirth in Bloodlines. It's pretty much, okay, let's take Greg Rucka and Phil Jimenez and Gail Simone and just dump it into a movie and we'll see what happens.
Oh shit!
But, and like I said, I think that's my thing, is I would rather see a lot of messy continuity work. And I think, jumping back to the death of Superman and the reign of the Supermen, because, they're together, basically. I think it's for people who are endeared to those storylines, kind of a thing.
Okay.
I think that's why I'm inclined to be a bit more forgiving than you are, because I am a huge Superman fan, whereas you typically are not.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I don't know. I also kind of have a hate boner on top of the fact because, like, the rudeness and disrespect from Judas Contract that they did had me just, like, going into Death of Superman expecting the same thing. So I'm gonna have to give it a watch.
I mean, it's not a matter of who's right or wrong. I think, honestly, it's just a matter of opinion.
Fair. Travis, did you enjoy that back and forth?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, well, let's get into some of this other news real quick. Travis and I already talked about this, but let's give some more background for the folks who don't listen to other podcasts, especially because Mary's here, and I've been waiting to get Mary's rant on here. So,
oh Lord have mercy.
So,
crushing my ability to smite fools.
Because Mary's power of smiting is greatness. So, this past week, we got the announcement that for Matt Reeves' The Batman movie, that we had a casting for Catwoman, and it's being played by friggin' my brain just went hella fucking blank. Oh my god, come back, brain. Freaking.
Zoe Kravitz.
Zoe Kravitz is playing. I hate life. I hate life right now. I'm too tired of this shit. Zoe Kravitz is playing Catwoman, and either you was really down for this, or you was really racist about this, and like that those are the two responses here. Either you was hella down, or you was hella racist. That's how this felt. And like there could be like those people that like try to be in between, but there's being racist on this one. Where it's like, I don't have any problem with black people. I just want a white Catwoman. No. And I want to return to the excerpt that we previously read, and we're going to read it once again. This comes from a tweet from a person that we will not name because like it doesn't matter. And the tweet goes as such: The Batman race swaps Catwoman by casting Zoe Kravitz. Hashtag not my Catwoman. Hashtag not my Selena Kyle. Hashtag too much coffee. And we've already begun the new hashtag on Blurred Grounds. Hashtag all the coffee. But, Mary, smite this fool for me.
If you actually scroll down on that tweet, you'll see my reply of just Eartha Kitt as Catwoman rolling around.
That was exactly why I couldn't smite him, because I went to go do the exact same thing and then saw Mary and then Eartha Kitt, and I was like, man.
Mary, speak on it.
I can't even. I mean, I saw someone saying that they didn't like Zoe Kravitz because they didn't like her in the Divergent series. And I'm like,
I
okay, you
defended
want
her
to
in the
criticize
Divergent
her,
season. Damn it, I love her in that movie.
but like if you want to criticize her acting ability specifically, that obviously that's one avenue. But if you're going to sit here and throw a bitch fit because it's not Anne Hathaway with boob implants kind of a thing. No, this is not shade against Anne Hathaway. She's just, I mean, I can't exactly say Julie Newmar with boob implants because these people probably don't even know who Julie Newmar is.
And she came back for the animated Adam West movie, so yay, Julie Newmar.
Mm-hmm. But, it's just, it is absolute fuckery. Absolute fuckery. Because they want to try and, I'm gonna, should I scale this back to PG-13 or am I unleashing?
No, thou hast permission.
Or am I unleashing?
Thou hast permission to smite. We label this show explicit on iTunes. It's okay.
But these people who are getting angry probably have no comic knowledge whatsoever. I think the extent of their comic knowledge is jacking off to Catwoman in Arkham City. Like, I guarantee that is the extent of their knowledge.
Oh my god!
And this is why we love our Mary. This is why I would agree. And then, and I'll even bring it back. Okay, too much coffee? Excuse me?
Yo, and another thing that, because of what Mary just said, why are we not jacking off to Kravitz as Catwoman? She's fine as hell. Weird neckbeard people, come on.
Is it because you don't like black women? Is that your problem, racist people? Is that your problem?
Too much coffee.
Is there too much coffee for your erection? Is that what's going on here?
And honestly, just the absolute disrespect to the history. Because it may have only been 3 episodes. But Eartha Kitt took those 3 episodes and created so much of what we love in Catwoman today. It was groundbreaking in the 1960s to see that. I mean, it was a huge middle finger to everything that was happening politically at that time. And to sit here and whine and cry about the fact that another black woman is playing Catwoman is ridiculous, and they can just go fuck themselves, in my opinion.
Travis, speak on it.
I don't know. It's pure idiocy to me. And even setting Eartha Kitt aside, it wasn't very long ago that we had Halle Berry as Catwoman.
We don't talk about that movie, but yes, you're right.
No, I'm gonna talk about it because it's still black woman Catwoman.
You're right.
I just stand Eartha Kitt so hard.
And the thing is, you're right. And the fact that Tessa Thompson played Eartha Kitt in Drunk History proves the point that Eartha Kitt playing Catwoman was a momentous moment. I just said that, momentous moment. I said that, and I'm okay with that.
Yes, you did.
But the point still stands. You need to get off your high horse and enjoy the coffee, because it's here to stay. Because not only do you have to put up with a black Catwoman, you have to put up with a black Commissioner Gordon, which means more than likely it's going to be a black or a biracial Batgirl if we ever get to that point. So get over it, guys.
The absolute, but James, quit trying to erase redheads.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, bro. I had to hear round 2 of that when they announced the live musical version of Little Mermaid with Queen Latifah. I had to hear round 2 of that thing, and I'm
anger.
So much anger. Not enough coffee. How about that?
Y'all ain't woke enough.
If somebody thinks there is such a thing as too much coffee, then just learn how to be an adult.
That's the most backhanded. I remember there was a time when we would talk about diet racism, and I ran into a lot of people who are like, "What's that? What's that? This is that." That backhanded too much coffee. Just no, stop.
Like,
Stop. This isn't an allegory for
it
beverages.
reminds me when I knew somebody when the Black Panther movie was coming out, and like there were all these critics saying it's so diverse, which is true. That like someone said it's not diverse and it's a bunch of black people and Martin Freeman, and I'm like, bruh,
Yo.
like, are you for real right now?
Whoa. All black people are from the same place, James. You didn't know?
Apparently a bunch of black people isn't diverse, but okay. Like, not only when all black cast in a premiere Oscar-winning movie is not really heard of, like, and it's a superhero movie, like, now granted, the dictionary term diverse, but like in terms of cultural, no.
And I mean, like, I feel like it's such a huge because, all right, I'm speaking to the people that want to deny that Eartha Kitt ever existed or like what she did, but it's mad disrespectful to her legacy, not just to the character, but for what she went through as that character and just as an actress in general.
Adam Zeroni can curse all of your houses.
Right.
No one got that reference, but it's
you have to come back for Madame Zeroni.
Wait, Travis got the reference. Mary, did you get the reference?
I did.
Cool.
You gotta take her up the hill. Your family is cursed.
Honestly, I think my favorite Eartha. I'm just like, this is completely out of left field, but my favorite Eartha Kitt song is "I Want to Be Evil." That's completely out of left field.
It's
but
fine. So the moral of the story once again is not enough coffee. All of the coffee. Racists are bad. All right.
Racists are bad.
Like, apparently, like, I'll even steal one of YouTuber Philip DeFranco's jokes. Apparently, the new story on the 10 o'clock news is racism is bad.
No way.
So let's move on from that topic. So there was the announcement, like we had heard, Brian Michael Bendis announced it a while back, but we have gotten confirmation in the January solicitations for DC Comics that Superman is going to be revealing his identity in January in the Superman main comic. And the way Bendis phrased this, it's the same way he
tired trope is tired.
What'd you say?
Tired trope is tired.
Well, no, like the way he phrased it, it reminded me of when he was coming on to the Superman book, and I think it was either New York or San Diego a couple of years ago, where he like talks about how he was in the hospital because he had a condition, and he was like drawing Rogol Zar, Superman's new villain, and he was gonna make a brand new origin for things and say that Rogol Zar is the one who destroyed Krypton, and it's this brand new idea that no one's ever thought about before. And I was like, "Yo, Superman Earth 1 says hello." Like it feels like we're going right back to this because if anyone doesn't know, Superman has revealed his identity and like given up his identity and his like U.S. citizenship on top of that multiple times over the past few like decades, and most recently during the New 52. So Bendis, you're not doing nothing new.
In the New 52, it was Lois that outed him.
That's true. So, I guess you went back to pre-New 52 for your trope, but still, Mary, you like you've already stated, you're more in knowledge of Superman. So why don't you speak on this?
Honestly, tired trope is tired. Like, I get what he's trying to do because, you know, for Superman, his identity is it is his most closely guarded secret. I mean, that's, you know, Superman, Batman, almost any superhero, their identity is their most closely guarded secret. And Superman is a symbol, and to take that symbol and attach an identity to it, that it is groundbreaking. Like, not groundbreaking, but, you know, in confines of the DC universe, it's groundbreaking. That, you know, this symbol of hope is a person as well. Like, it completely reshapes the mythos of Superman within the DC universe, obviously not our universe, because we have always known he's Clark Kent.
Yes.
But there is only so much you can keep doing with that. And if we're still in continuity here, it's going to be really confusing because when Dan Jurgens, at the very beginning of Rebirth, Dan Jurgens spent multiple issues trying to redact the fact that Lois Lane revealed that Clark Kent is Superman. Now, I'm sure that was probably undone by Superman Reborn.
Yeah.
But like at the same time, it is so counterintuitive because Mixie Spitalik was masquerading as Clark Kent, and it was just this whole thing. And not even 5 years ago that we did this again, and it gives me such a headache because it's the one thing that everybody says. I don't know. I feel like I am losing my train of thought completely because that's just how tired this trope is. Because I would love to go through the 80 plus years of Superman's history and sit there and count, how many times his identity was revealed, how many times his identity was threatened to be revealed, kind of a thing.
It shows that
And
Bendis is running out of ideas.
Yeah. And unless he can pull off this massive hat trick, I don't see what it can be done. And I think, admittedly, that's the problem with some of these characters like Superman, is that you have just so much history to work with. I mean, you have closer to 100 years than not of history to work with.
Yeah.
So, at that point, what else can you do?
Travis, do you have any
But
Mary, go ahead. I didn't cut you off.
I was just going to say that my thoughts completely boil down to tired trope is tired.
Travis, how do you feel about tired trope being tired?
I'm torn, to be honest with you, because like I'm a fan and a hater of tropes, and the difference for me is always how it's done. So when I hear about Superman being like, "Everybody, I'm Clark Kent," it's very reminiscent of Marvel's Civil War 1 and Spider-Man's big reveal to me as a whole. And so it's not spectacular because tired trope is tired. It's not happening in a new way, making it even more of an exhausted trope. And and with how old Superman is, I'm not honestly certain if there is a new way to reveal his identity.
No, probably not.
Probably not.
I think the new way that they did it, because in the New 52, Lois forcibly reveals his identity.
Oof.
So I think that was an interesting twist there to have, Lois do it, because she's always been romantically attached, and so she's always guarded that. But that was the one instance where she could.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I mean, personally, I think the smart thing, as far as like, if I were Superman, I would just forgo identity altogether and just be Superman all the time.
See, we tried that already, though.
Yeah, and it didn't go well.
To the point where he was constantly tired and didn't know how to function.
Yeah.
I mean, but why do that when you can bang Lois Lane? Like, come on now.
I mean, man. Why does it have to make people make the craziest life decisions?
Like, reveal your identity or Lois Lane. Reveal your identity or
Right.
I mean, can we all sit here and say that we wouldn't do the same? Or is that just me, or did I just...
I mean, like...
I understand you have a crush on Lois Lane, but like...
Can it be Erica Durance Lois Lane?
Oh my god, will you stop with
No! Because I'm telling you, and we will fight to have this fight to the death. Erica Durance is better than Amy Adams.
No, that's, like, I don't care. I mean, she's not better than Margot Kidder.
Well, yes, of course. But, like, as long as you can stand the fact that she's better than Amy Adams, I'm okay.
Amy Adams is an Academy Award
I don't care.
We will fight. We will fight over this, James.
The boiling.
So, I just like that first moment she comes onto the show and you hear like the almost borderline Superman the animated series voice and then she has the sass and she nails it and it's perfect and I love it every second. Like, yes, the whole thing of her being Chloe's cousin is freaking stupid, but then again, Chloe's in a sex cult now, so it doesn't matter. But like, you just Mary, come on.
Nope, I am unshakable.
Travis, who's your favorite Lois Lane?
I will take Terry Hatcher before Erica does.
Oh,
That hurts.
Oh,
Mm.
oh, my heart.
Admittedly, I also do just really enjoy Terry Hatcher as an actress, but
She even played Erica Dart's mom in the show too. Why you gotta be like?
I'm corny. I like Gal Gadot, Wonder Woman, personally.
We're not even at Wonder Woman. What are you talking about?
I thought we were Lois Lane. I'm sorry. I'm totally
this
on
is
left
a fight
field.
that Mary will kill anyone that says that Linda Carter ain't the best, but like at the same time, like
What if I told you I don't know enough Lois Lane to not even name an actress? I'm about to get stabbed.
I'm gonna just shake my head while Mary just shakes you in the parking lot.
Right. In the neck so I can't scream.
Let's move away from that, like from pretend shanking to someone we actually do want to shank, because the reports have been revealed the past couple of days. This will be our last topic tonight, folks. Don't freak out. This will be our the reports have been revealed that our favorite tattooed laughing man himself, who's about to become a bleached vampire rather than a laughing tattooed vampire. I'm talking, of course, about Jared Leto, has been revealed to have tried so desperately.
if I may jump in real
Sure.
quick. Just to cover our butts, none of this is 100% confirmed. This is all alleged, but
alleged.
we do believe it comes from credible sources. Let's just, avoid lawsuits
Yes.
right now.
Like these are reports coming from the Hollywood Reporter. So like,
I'm just still covering our
definitely,
butt.
because like this could all be like substantial and all that jazz. Especially because Warner Brothers has declined to comment on the situation. But reports are saying that Jared Leto tried so desperately to get the Joker movie shut down from its from its green lightings, like from there and from when it was announced, that not only did he try to have like his agent who worked with the same agents as Todd Phillips, the director of Joker, to get it shut down, he apparently tried to contact the owners of Warner Brothers, which Time Warner and now AT&T. He tried to contact them to get the movie shut down because he was so desperate to keep his version of Joker in the forefront of the DCEU.
Jeez.
Thoughts?
Why,
I mean-
Jared?
I mean, like,
We all have those actors. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Mary. Go ahead, Mary.
I was gonna say that we all have those actors that we know are douchebags, and Jared Leto is one of them.
See,
Like,
Yes.
see, when I first read this report, my first immediate thought when I reading this was, you got beef? You got beef? You got beef with the new Joker? You got beef with him, Jared? You got beef? That's what it feels like, because it feels like you're pulling your own self here and being salty that no one on God's green earth, except for the most like Hot Topic loving, like I love Hot Topic. Don't get me wrong, that's where I get most of my t-shirts. But like the stereotype of Hot Topic, like the freakazoids who like want the tattoos and want to have the abusive relationship with Harley and stuff like that. Those really crazy psychopath people, like that's like only they care about your interpretation of Joker. And even then, a lot of them are liking the new Joker over you anyway. So I can feel your.
If we're being honest,
well, go ahead, Travis.
if we're being honest, Jared Leto's Joker is not like he's done so many other better movies and roles. I don't know why he's so hung up on this. Honestly.
I think he's just salty that like apparently half of his stuff was cut from the movie because he thought it was gonna be his movie, which to an extent I think they should have just copied the Batman Assault on Arkham plotline and just chased after Joker instead of making Enchantress another villain with a giant death beam. But that's just me. But like I can feel this man's sodium levels from here because he is just salty AF. You're playing a Marvel villain now, a Marvel anti-hero, whatever the frick Morbius is now. Like, why do you care? Like,
right.
Granted, this probably happened before he was cast as Morbius, but like at the same time, you like the fact that this has come back up, and like it frustrates my soul.
And I've also heard other accounts. I remember I read an article a while back when Suicide Squad was still like in the theaters and stuff that he was like trying to fully immerse himself in the role as the Joker and was doing real like jackass things like sending people dead pigs and shit.
Dead animals. Like people use condoms, and I'm like, bruh.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, and I mean, I get. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say that just ahead of Suicide Squad, or around the time of its release, Margot Robbie hosted SNL, and she even makes a joke about that in her monologue because she's quote unquote fact checking her monologue, and she makes a comment about the fact that Jared Leto stayed in character the whole time, and she talks about how awkward and terrible it was.
Why do you think Birds of Prey is being made the way it is, that she wants nothing to do with Jared Leto's Joker? Like, she wanted to annex herself away from this man.
Probably because he was being real weird. If he never got out of character and Harley's on the set, I don't have to say anymore. Really, I don't. Like, and so I don't understand why he's so like, oh my god, I'm the best Joker around. Like, so... He wants to be known as the Joker that got a Harley in the movie that was also a shithead and treated Harley like Joker treats Harley off the set in real life because he couldn't get out of character. I can understand how that would be a nightmare for someone like Margot Robbie. Every time you run into him, he's going to be weird and awkward. And maybe borderline just out of line. Because that's how Joker is.
Like, there was even a tweet that said, hopefully this helps get Morbius canceled. And I'm like, please do. Like, not only is Morbius the living vampire getting his own movie a stupid concept, but you're screwing over Tyrese. And as much as I think Tyrese needs to, like, just crawl back to Vin Diesel with tears in his eyes and say, take me back for leaving you. Granted, I think he's still in the new Fast movie, but at the same time, it's like you're leaving like your money ticket to the rest of your life on the sidelines just because you were so desperate to play a superhero and DC wouldn't let you play Green Lantern. So like you went to Sony and they're like, we'll put you in a superhero movie where you're playing a cop in a anti-hero side character for Spider-Man.
Oh my god!
Like, I'm sorry.
He's just crawling back up. Oh, he's just crawling back up Vin Diesel up to his ear. Eject those seats.
Oh Jesus! Mary's probably like, what?
No. I I get everybody has their favorite characters, and I try not to shit on that, but. Who asked for this? Like, if you want a vampire superhero movie, just watch fucking Blade. Like,
years, just wait for it. Like, I don't understand.
And it's not even like the comics have been using Morbius all that much recently. Like,
and I mean, like, I feel like we could take Jared Leto as a vampire and put it in like an Interview with the Vampire remake. And I would be just
honestly, there's a good chance that he is one, okay? Like...
Okay, well, you've gotten two good roasts of the night. You've gotten a Liefeld roast and a Leto roast. There's your enjoyment of the evening, folks. We're going to go ahead and wrap up this show for you. Before we do, we're going to give our recommendations for books that you can pick up at your comic shop this Wednesday. That are coming out because we post this show on Mondays. That way you know what books are coming out and you can check that out at your local comic book shop. So, Travis, what is a book that you want to recommend to the lovely people?
Batman: Curse of the White Knight #4.
Okay, why is that?
And the reason why I recommend it is because Babs is coming out strong. She's a part of the GCPD and she's wearing a cowl. So I'm confused, intrigued, and I really want to see her stab a few people, if I'm being honest.
All right. Mary, what is your recommendation for this coming week?
I'm going to have to say Wonder Woman number 81. Wilson, her run started off really pretty slow, but it has picked up, and it's really become something interesting, and I like the way she writes Veronica Cale. So, if you like Cheetah, Veronica Cale, anything like that, I think it's a run definitely worth checking out, and I'm excited to read the next issue.
All right. And then I'm gonna go ahead and give 2 recommendations because I don't want this to seem like we're just gonna recommend DC books and be done. I'm going to stick my feather in the cap of Marauders #1 for a few reasons. I know when we were talking about this relaunch of books for the dawn of X, I said this would be one of the first books canceled, and I still think it will be, but I want it to succeed because the idea of Kitty Pryde getting a second chance at leader after Mark Guggenheim kind of just shot her in the foot multiple times while she was leading X-Men Gold. I think the ability for her to get another shot in some capacity is kind of nice. Also, this book has the only 2 Black X-Men on the team. So there's that. Also, Iceman, love me some Iceman, and also this whole thing of the Hellfire Club trying to surround Kitty in this team is kind of interesting, and I'm excited to see where this team goes. So there's that. My other recommendation. Let's go back to DC for a second. My other recommendation is going to have to be, where did it go? Freedom Fighters. I don't know that it was a number 11. I don't know. Where did it go? Yeah, number 10. Freedom Fighters number 10 is releasing this Wednesday. If anyone who knows me knows that I love old things like Freedom Fighters, All-Star Squadron, JSA. I love the idea of legacy. And when Scott Snyder and James Tynion brought back the Justice Society recently in Justice League, my heart was just and I need me a JSA book ASAP, folks. Let's get on that, please. But no, in the meantime, this 12-issue miniseries that's been coming out from DC, with the Freedom Fighters in Earth X, has been very good. I think everyone should be reading it. It's been one of those side books on my pull list that I've been loving. So I think everyone should be picking it up and checking it out. It's got two more issues left, and then it'll be collected in graphic novel / trade format for everyone to enjoy. But still, pick up the single issues and support the release. So we'll go ahead and wrap up the show for you folks. Don't forget to check out this podcast out on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Overcast, Pocket Cast, wherever you can get a podcast on any platform besides SoundCloud, because we don't like SoundCloud. And you can check us out each and every week that we post a new episode. And don't forget that you can follow us on Twitter at PTP_podcast. And you can follow the website On Comics Ground on Twitter and Instagram at On Comics Ground. And you can check out the website oncomicsground.com. Put some hyphens between those words for us and check out all of our new reviews, previews, and opinion pieces on the latest comic books. So we're going to go ahead and shut down this episode. But before we do, Mary, what is your closing statement for this episode of Panel to Panel?
I said so many things that are going to get me in trouble. I said so many things that are going to get me in trouble.
You want to say one more before we go?
Oh God, what can I say that's going to get me in trouble? I think. Okay, here we go.
Oh dear.
Okay.
Bomb drop.
I think all of the people who are obsessed with Jared Leto's Joker, and all of Rob Liefeld's artwork, and all of the racist fucks surrounding Catwoman can all just get in a boat and go sink in the middle of the ocean.
All right. Travis, what is your closing statement for this episode of Panel to Panel? Where'd Travis go? Travis, come back.
Okay, I figured it out. Don't let people sell you the hype, man. Catwoman was black longer than most of the people complaining about it have been alive.
Mm-hmm.
That was some powerful words you had there, sir. All right, and then my closing statement, as always, is support your local comic book shop. We need to keep these books alive. We love this industry. We want to see it grow, and we will catch you folks next time right here on Panel to Panel. Peace out.